Democrats are gathering in Chicago ahead of the party's convention where Kamala Harris will seek to solidify her message ahead of November's election. Let's hopefully now go back to Carrington Clarke, who is in Chicago. Carrington, yes, we can see you there on the floor. Happy days. Tell us about all the action will unfold there this week.
Good morning, Michael. Well, I was going to put in a preemptive apology because we are here in the United Centre. They are going through the last-minute testing of both the sound system, the light system. So if we're interrupted by either of those things, know that that's what's happening. The Democratic Party is putting the final touches ahead of this four-day extravaganza where Kamala Harris will receive the ceremonial endorsement of the party to be their standard bearer for the upcoming presidential election. And I say ceremonial because she has actually already been officially endorsed, which happened in a virtual roll call. So this is really about the Democratic Party trying to harness the huge amount of both domestic and international media attention that this four-day event will provide to really try to define who Kamala Harris is. She might have been the VP for 3.5 years, but many Americans are still not sure who she is, what she stands for, and what she wants to do for the country. And so what we'll see over these 4 days is a cast of party luminaries taking to the stage behind me to endorse Kamala Harris and try to push the American people to take the chance and vote for her to be both the first female and first woman of Asian descent to be the American president. Kamala Harris herself has huge momentum coming into this event. The polls have tightened. At this point, it looks like a statistical dead heat, which is a much better position for the Democratic Party than what we saw when Joe Biden was leading the ticket. Although it's going to be a huge amount of enthusiasm and support for Kamala Harris within this particular arena, the Chicago police, the Secret Service, are on edge because we do believe there will be large protests, particularly connected to the ongoing war in Gaza. Tens of thousands of people are expected to take to the streets here in Chicago, and so there is a huge amount of streets that have been cut off around the United Center. So that will be something to watch. And that issue, the Gaza war and how the Biden administration has handled that, is one of the major issues that Kamala Harris is still needing to come up with her own firm policy on, and so that's something we'll be watching as these days unfold. As far as the cast of luminaries, we're expected to hear from former Presidents Barack Obama and Bill Clinton, as former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, as well as the man who currently holds that top job, President Biden, who is expected to speak on the first day, which is tomorrow.
Okay, while the convention is happening, what's Donald Trump up to this week?
So Donald Trump had hinted, or actually outright said, that he wouldn't be campaigning while the DNC was going on a couple of weeks ago. He has changed tact, and he will now be moving through some of the crucial swing states. What we're hearing from some of the major Republican figures who are obviously supporting Donald Trump is that they want him to be more disciplined, to be focused on policy issues that they see as a weakness for Kamala Harris and Joe Biden under the Biden-Harris administration. Things like cost of living pressures, the inflation rate, the economy more broadly, and also immigration. Now, we've seen Donald Trump seemingly attempt to stay on message in recent days, but he often appears to veer off course and once again engages in personal insults, including calling Kamala Harris, the Vice President, crazy, and also suggesting that he's much better looking than she is. The question for the Republicans is whether or not we will see a disciplined Donald Trump as the DNC sucks up so much media attention. But at this point, you would have to say the momentum is on the Democrat side, but there are major potential hurdles for Kamala Harris. She still hasn't done a major interview with any of the leading broadcasters here in America since she became the presumptive nominee, and nor has she held a press conference. And there is growing pressure on her to answer some of those tricky questions about what a Kamala Harris administration would do and where she stands on some of these key issues.